Well, hey folks, listen, today we're going to talk about practice. I'm talking practice. We're not talking about the game, we're talking practice. And we're going to talk all about it right after the intro. Okay guys, hopefully if you've been around this channel for any length of time, you realize that I like to emphasize practicing, putting in the work. I've got a lot of friends that love to play, and then as we play around, they keep complaining about, oh, I keep missing this shot, I keep doing this, and I go, well, have you practiced it? And they're like, well, no, not really. They just come out and play over and over again. And that's fine if you're okay with that. It all comes down to what you're striving for and what you're content with in your game. If you're just content coming out and having fun and throwing and hitting trees and just having a good time, that's awesome. But if you're trying to improve, the biggest question I have to ask over and over again, are you practicing? And how are you practicing? I just spent some time with my dad last weekend, and he's a tennis pro. He's really smart about body mechanics and all this stuff. And he reminded me, he said, you know, we talk about practice makes perfect. And he said, the problem is, it really should be perfect practice makes perfect. And we've got a whole lot of imperfect practice going on. So if you're practicing imperfectly, or you're practicing things that aren't necessarily helping you develop, you're just grinding in the imperfection. You're adding on the mess ups. And what do I mean by that? Well, for instance, if I'm sitting here and I find myself having problems with my forehand, and I keep going, you know, over and over again, man, I need to work on my forehand. I need to work on my forehand. And months go by and I haven't worked on my forehand. All I'm doing is baking in that mistake over and over again when I come out and play. One of the best things I can do when I start to notice a problem is stop after that round, maybe take a week off from playing and take 1 or 2 days or more, give yourself some rest, but go out there and work on that problem. Because whenever that problem arises and it rises to the level of consciousness, that's a good sign that we need to work on it and we need to practice. But we just like to play, we like to have fun, and that's great. But if something is bothering you out on the course and you're getting frustrated and angry, you're not enjoying it as much out on the course because you haven't taken the time to practice. We all love that instant gratification of just going out and having a good round, but it does take investment and work. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you have to have the mindset of a learner, and you have to have the mindset of, I need to do the uncomfortable. I need to go out in the field for an hour, 2 hours, probably not 2 hours. If you're throwing a lot, you'll just kill your arm. I need to go to the batting cage and throw back and forth. I need to get a hoop and start working on my consistency, being able to hit those gaps. I need to work on my putting, etc., and doing those things. The problem is, we just think that I can throw a couple shots and just tune things up. And the thing is, rarely do we have that mindset in just about any other sport, unless we're kidding ourselves, living in denial. If I said to you, hey, I just started playing baseball, and you know what, next week I'm gonna start throwing 90 miles an hour, and I'm gonna start batting 450, you would think I'm crazy. But a lot of what we've kind of promoted, the social media, etc., how we think, I can throw a Frisbee because I've thrown other things pretty good. So I should be able to come out here and with a few tips and pointers, I should be pretty good. And as a matter of fact, I should be able to throw 450 feet and I should be able to be shooting under par every time I come out here. And then we just get out here and all we do is play. That's fine. But realize you're not gonna throw 450. Heck, most of us in life are not gonna throw 450 because body shape, athleticism, genetics, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on there. So I'm never gonna sell you, hey, I can get you to throw 450 feet. Before I ever even say, hey, let's work on distance, I'm gonna look at your body, I'm gonna look at your motion, I'm gonna look at anything that's holding it back, and we're gonna develop a plan from there. I'm never gonna say, hey, I can get everybody to this. But some of what we've sold people is that you can just grab a bag of discs, go out on the course, tweak a few things, watch a few YouTube channels, including my own, and then just play great. How much are you investing in your game? And that's really it. I constantly talk to people that are not happy with their game, and yet they're okay not working on their game. And it's that break point. And listen, I get it. I'm guilty myself of putting it off. Next week. Let's face it, we're busy. We're all over the place. So if you're watching this right now, maybe stop, pause the video, go put a little thing in your calendar. Tuesday, Saturday, put a block of time, an hour, and say, this week I'm going to work on this, and set that aside and make a plan and put it so that it's going to actually happen, where you go work in a batting cage. Listen, I think the batting cage in the net is one of the best ways to work on getting your throws down. Your body will help you know what to do if you will just get out there and practice and throw. The problem is we're either just getting out on the field and throwing as hard as we can and just reinforcing some bad habits, or we're just going and sitting and watching YouTube and thinking, I'm getting it all up here. You have to incorporate it into your body and give yourself the right feedback to know what's good and what's bad. So good practice is legitimate practice where you've got yes and no parameters that you can know you're doing well or you're not doing well with every throw. That's so important, that immediate feedback. That's a good throw. That's a bad throw. And we need to do it over and over again so that our body knows what the good and the bad are. And that's more than just getting out there and just chunking discs back and forth. I love playing and practicing with somebody else because you get that feedback, you start to learn how to do some stuff. Practicing with a partner is some of the most efficient, fun times. But I think when you're wanting to really work on your strokes or whatever, you need to put in the time. And I think the batting cage area is one of the best. I think the hoop's great too, but the problem with that is you're still going back and forth a lot. Whereas the batting cage is probably one of the most efficient. Just put a ribbon, something small on each side, and start working on hitting those targets from all the way across the batting cage. And you will watch your confidence and your shot making skills increase. And the nice thing is you can move them up higher or lower depending on, you need to work on nose down, you need to work on angles, throwing Anheuser. I think it can be very helpful for you. But hopefully, if you take nothing else away from this, become a person that practices. If you ask the people around here, when they see me, half the time they go, oh, you going to practice? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to work on X, Y, or Z. Hopefully it's not just for videos, but I've always enjoyed practicing because there's an investment and there's a joy in the fruit of practicing. And I think we're losing track of that, where we just want the fruit of now, of playing and scoring well. Invest in your game, invest in yourself, and take some time out to actually practice. And I think you're going to enjoy it and this game a whole lot more. That's really kind of my little rant for today, and it's not really a rant, it's hopefully encouragement. Go out and practice, and then hopefully you're going to see the fruit of that when you get out on the course. Okay, now stop watching me, stop spending time in front of the TV, go out and throw some discs. Go out and practice, and I hope to see you out on the course. No, actually, this time I hope to see you in the batting cage with a hoop. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I do hope to see you out on the course. Take care.